We are immersed in a galaxy more than 150,000 light-years in diameter, and there are more than 200 billion stars in it. Such distances are unimaginable to human understanding. Our first radio transmissions that have traveled through space at the speed of light only cover a tiny, minuscule point about 200 light-years in diameter. Albert Einstein told us in his equations, no object with mass can reach or exceed the speed of light. It seems like a cruel joke that the universe has us trapped here by the speed of light. If we eliminate that limit, and the annoying effects of time dilation, imagine the large number of planets we could visit in a human lifetime. Study every star, every planetary history, civilizations, a huge variety of worlds to study and catalog. It is obvious that if one day we want to travel to the stars and beyond, we must exceed the speed of light. There must be a shortcut or a trap to violate this law. We humans are good at breaking the rules, and what better way to break the cosmic traffic code that Einstein told us about? So far we have seen the effects of traveling at speeds close to the speed of light in other videos. But what would happen if we traveled much faster? Although it may seem incredible, there is a theoretically proven method, the Alcubierre warp drive, and today we will see it in depth. We will travel to the stars and other planets and beyond, being scientifically correct, without the annoying relativistic effects of time dilation that we already saw in a video on this channel. The warp drive is the most logical way to travel to other worlds, but it also brings serious temporal paradoxes, such as meeting your past self. It's going to be something epic. You will see that faster-than-light travel is very different from what science fiction promises. Einstein told us that no object could exceed the speed of light through space-time. That's why there are places in the universe that expand faster than light. We should learn to manipulate that space-time to take us to the stars. Miguel Alcubierre theoretically demonstrated that there is a solution to Einstein's field equations that does not violate relativity. The solution would be to expand the space behind and contract it forward. It is as if space itself were transporting you to the destination. Just as a wave does with a surfer, the spaceship does not actually move through space. It is space itself that transports you at speeds greater than light. This is how we can modify the cosmic traffic code, but manipulating space-time in this way requires a large amount of energy. To do so, it is necessary to create a bubble around the ship. It would be like creating a bubble universe. An interior flat space where the ship would fit, surrounded by a bubble and the deformation of space. Miguel Alcubierre, in his original work from 1994, calculated that for a warp bubble the size of a 100 m long ship to travel at an effective speed of 10 times the speed of light, a negative amount of energy would be needed, equivalent to the mass of Jupiter. Other, more optimistic studies have reduced the energy to the mass of an asteroid. Today, negative energy has unpredictable quantum effects. It would have exotic properties, such as repelling rather than attracting gravitationally, and it has not been possible to create it in a controlled manner. In addition, creating a warp bubble would present an exponential accumulation of Hawking radiation. Stefano Finazzi showed that this radiation would increase inside the bubble and become destabilized. This is because the curvature of spacetime could be such that it encourages the creation of particle pairs near the virtual event horizon created by the warp bubble. One particle would fall into the bubble, and the other would escape into outer space. Creating a bubble and keeping it stable and reaching the right destination are huge technical and theoretical challenges. But let's say we've managed to overcome all those problems and created a ship with warp drive and materials that can withstand anything, plus many other technologies to make space more comfortable. The crew is very happy, because we are in a future where we have managed to create a Star Trek-like ship to travel to the stars. But the reality is going to be very different from what we had imagined. They have no idea what awaits them. We are about to embark on an exciting journey. We believe that we can finally conquer the galaxy and the universe with this method. A singularity is being created in front of us and space is contracting. It is as if we are being sucked forward. According to the Alcubierre metric, we can reach several multiples of the speed of light. But there is no limit, it all depends on the energy we are able to generate. If we base it on one of the fictional ships like the Enterprise, this ship could sustain a maximum speed of factor 9.6. That would be a trip to Pluto in 10 seconds, more than 1,900 times the speed of light. It is an immense speed. This hypothetical ship is hundreds of millions of times faster than the Parker probe, the fastest spacecraft we have created. Communications in a warp ship. The brave crew members watch in amazement as in just over 6 hours, they have left the solar system. However, there is a problem. Communications with Earth travel at the speed of light and arrive with a significant delay. We do not know of any theoretical method to send information through space faster than light. We are 2 light years from Earth. That means that communications will take 2 years to arrive. Our family and friends are desperate and send a response to our ship that never arrives. Waves that travel through space at the speed of light can never reach us. There is a problem here, and it is called the principle of locality of physical impossibility. The ship cannot receive the message from Earth directly, because information cannot travel faster than light back to the ship, and in 4 Earth years the ship will no longer be 2 light years away, but thousands of light years from the position where the message was sent. We are now like the expanding universe. We are completely cut off from the outside world, but a ship with warp drive can return to Earth at any time in a reasonable time. That comforts the crew. Incredible, but 4 days later we reach Gliese 667. It is a 3-star system 23 light years away, and with one of the most habitable planets known, Gliese 667c. This planet is known as a super-Earth. The gravitational waves caused by the warp drive can be picked up by a hypothetical industrial civilization. If there were alien scientists, they would see a ship appear out of nowhere, and they believe that this ship should not be there. It is a ghost, a ship from the future that has overtaken the light. The crew of the Enterprise are surprised to find that any information about their arrival to this system is delayed. We are in a time machine from the future, or perhaps from the past. We intend to go further, much further. In 1 week we reached a system known to us and intriguing, and it is TRAPPIST-1, a red dwarf 39 light years from Earth, surrounded by at least 7 planets. Faster than light communications? From here, when we stop, we start receiving strange messages. A message from Earth. Apparently, on Earth, they have invented a way to send messages faster than light, using laser warp impulses. It is a message from the future, 10 years from now. Earth is in a third world war, and they are asking us not to return. There is a theoretical explanation for all this. Information cannot go faster than light in space, but there is something strange in the equations of relativity. If you exceed the speed of light, the equations give negative values and no longer make sense. This is what happens with hypothetical tachyons with imaginary mass. The laser warp is just an idea, but it is valid for this mental experiment. This breaks the rules of current physics, and that is what we are here for, to break everything and trust the rules and see what happens. We are all hallucinating. We are experiencing a time paradox. We have received a message from Earth that will be sent in 10 years. The principle of causality has been broken. The universe is a big race track where all the cars automatically follow the speed of light limit, and even far below. When you exceed that limit, you go off the track, breaking the rules. These shortcuts not only take you forward on the track, but also allow you to return to previous points. It's been about 12 days since we left Earth, and we are starting to experience strange things. In addition, the galaxy is too big, so we must increase the speed of the ship to a factor of 9,999, 200,000 times the speed of light, millions of times the speed of light. This exceeds even the capabilities of the Enterprise ship. This means that we have crossed the galaxy and are in intergalactic space. The universe is not as we had seen from Earth. We were seeing a universe in the past at various times in history. The reality is that it is much more evolved. The ancient galaxies observed by James Webb now appear to us as imposing mega-galaxies of billions of stars. We had never seen anything like it, and we were perplexed. The warp bubble distorts space-time in such a way that the crew detects something strange. There are fluctuations in the timeline. It seems that we are observing events from the past and the future simultaneously. planets that return to the period of their formation, stars that explode before being born, and everything seems disordered and chaotic. Is the universe really like this, or are we in an illusion? When we approach an almost infinite speed, it is as if we merge with the cosmos itself. On the great cosmic race track, there are infinite shortcuts that we had not even imagined. The warp bubble is distorting time. Effects of warp travel. With amazement, the screen shows a blurry image that slowly focuses on what seems to be a duplicate of the Enterprise floating in the void of space. What could that be? What we saw could be a projection of ourselves in the future, and it seems to return to Earth. They are just projections, nothing to worry about. The unknown is an adventure, and we must remain calm, but the worst comes when one of the crew members tells us, "Message from the future." I received a message on my terminal, but it is from myself, and it is dated for 3 hours from now. We must immediately change direction. It is a time loop. We are approaching a gamma-ray eruption that will destroy us. Unfortunately for you, there is no way to modify trajectory. The warp field has destabilized, and there is no way to turn it off. The crew members contemplate in amazement an inevitable destiny with a message from the future. In 3 hours, the ship is in a dangerous area, and one of the crew members sends a message to herself, warning of what will happen, scheduled for 3 hours before. In a few seconds, the ship is destroyed when passing near a supernova eruption. Suddenly, the crew finds themselves again with the terrible message, but they do not remember anything of what happened. This is what is called a closed time curve. It is one of the hypothetical effects of a warp trip. It has already been calculated in the Schwarzschild metric. A trajectory in space-time that returns to its point of origin, allowing an object to move towards the past and the future in a continuous loop. The spaceship and its crew are destroyed again and again without being aware of it. That makes us wonder if, in the complexity of our cosmos, how many times have we died and repeated the cycle? But we have a salvation. Quantum physics allows small random variations. The crew has the feeling of déjà vu. It is as if they have already experienced this situation. In each cycle, the crew members feel that they should not be there. Something is wrong. There is no definitive solution to get out of this loop. The warp drive works by the principles of quantum relativity. And that means that the time loop is not totally stable. There are always random fluctuations in the vacuum, and that means that in each timeline it is similar but not an exact copy. Possible timelines. In one of the time copies, the warp drive increases to an almost infinite speed, so that we can really see the truth. We are in a space-time singularity that creates multiple alternative events. As Einstein said, the past, present, and future are a mere illusion, but the sentence is incomplete. We know that everything is connected and that the future conditions the past, and the past the future. We are unknowingly choosing the universe and the moment that we want to live. What I just mentioned to you is a theoretical idea from physicist John Archibald Wheeler. The existence of conscious observers conditions the way the universe appears to us. This is called the participatory anthropic principle. From the fewer we determine our past, and vice versa. We have left the time loop, and on an alternative cosmic highway, we return to our beautiful home, the Earth. As we approach our local group of galaxies due to the delay of light, several ships identical to ours appear before us. They are from the past, until one of them moves away from us. This means that we are going back in time at an almost infinite speed. We return to our lives in the distant past, before having left on a trip. Now we are on a timeline, and we are not aware of how many times we have lived in this and other universes. When we died or were born, perhaps thousands, millions of times. Unfortunately, in this theoretical framework, we cannot return with information from the future. We do not know anything, because our mind cannot remember the future, and for us it is as if it had not happened, but really everything is there. The past and the future, beyond this extraordinary fictional journey and its possible effects. What we know for sure is that any travel at speeds greater than the speed of light could not only be impossible, but very dangerous, since you also have a time travel machine and the ability to create temporal paradoxes. Perhaps one day, when we have a theory of everything, we will be able to know if it is possible to create temporal paradoxes, and if superluminal engines are possible. Stephen Hawking argued that therein lies the answer. Hush.